Hi boys and girls, it is Mrs. Willoughby. I'm here to work on finishing our portrait. I'm hoping maybe you can see it a little better this way. I'm still trying to get adjusted to doing these videos, so bear with me a little bit. Sorry. Trying to make sure you can see it all. All right, so I did go in and I looked at my face I had and I looked at my picture and I felt like I needed to change the chin just a little bit, so I did that. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some details. So if I go back to the packet that I gave you, you can see that there's always gonna be this line above the eye. And when I look at the picture of Mrs. Tipton with her glasses and everything, it's a little hard to kind of see where that line actually is, but I know that it's going to be above her eye. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that line in. So that adds another detail, and then we're always going to have just a couple of lines here under the eyelids. Now, when we go in and do our eyelashes, this is something that people tend to kind of overdo. So the first thing, and if you look at the pictures, you can see that you really can't see the eyelashes that much. We don't want them to be, you know, kind of the story of the picture. So I usually start when I do mine by doing kind of like little U's, because the eyelashes actually do show a little bit, you know, under the lid of the eye. And then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add some lines to that all the way to the corner of the eye, and that's going to add my eyelashes. And then I'm going to kind of go back over that line, make it a little darker there, put a little shadow behind those lashes. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to start with these little kind of U shapes that come down just a tiny bit below the lashes. And then again, I'm going to add those kind of curved lashes to the top, trying to be somewhat symmetrical with the other side. Okay, the bottom lashes, same thing. I'm going to do kind of this upside down U. It kind of comes in the eye just a tiny bit. And then I'm just going to add a few little lashes there. Again, this is something we can't see really great in the pictures, so we're doing kind of a what we call stylized, so what we would expect them to look like. Okay, I can also see on Miss Tipton's face here, we've got a little dimple right here, kind of close to the edge when she's smiling. And then we've got these smile lines, which we don't want to make too dark. But that's going to kind of be up there around where her smile is. And then kind of got those on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and erase this line here. And again, remember my lines are not going to erase as well as yours because I'm drawing so dark. So when I look at Miss Tipton's teeth, I can see that I'm mostly seeing just her top teeth. And it actually goes into a little bit of kind of darkness here right in the corner of her mouth. And she has nice, pretty, straight teeth. We want to draw those pretty lightly. And we know that how our teeth work. We have the four kind of front teeth. And then that next one is going to be that kind of more canine tooth. And then we've got kind of some jaw teeth back here. So notice I'm not using a whole bunch of detail. I'm just kind of giving some thin lines there, some light lines that are going to show us kind of her teeth there in that smile. And then the bottom, I'm just kind of darkening in a little bit. The teeth are really hard because if you don't make them pretty light, they tend to kind of stick out in the picture. Okay, so with Miss Tipton, one of the reasons that I did pick her is that she is wearing glasses. So I wanted to kind of go through how to do those glasses. So when I look at her glasses, I can see that the center that goes over her nose is basically kind of even with the center of her eyes. So I'm going to draw that part first. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and erase inside there. And I can actually kind of get rid of this line. So you can erase lines as you're going. But I want to keep that glasses line right there. Okay, and then her glasses, I might have made these a little too low. Let's go back in and make that just a little higher. And there's that center part of her glasses that's actually going to, we can see that her glasses come not too far. So they are going to kind of go right over her eyebrows. Come right down to the side of her face. And then it's going to do the same thing on this side. And come down there right on the side of her face. All right, and now we're going to do the rest of the outside. And that is actually going to come down. The lowest point is going to be about right here. Trying to make sure I'm not blocking you. So I'm going to start at that lowest point and make that circular curve up there. And then I'm going to bring that up to meet. So now the tricky part is getting this to look the same on the other side. That's always the tricky part, the symmetry. And again, as we have discussed, faces aren't completely symmetrical, but they do have a fair amount of symmetry. All right. So I'm trying to figure out what I have done here because this side is looking a lot bigger than this side. So obviously I have started in too far. So I'm just trying to even these up here. All right, and that's looking a lot better. Make sure you can see that there. All right, so we have to do the inside of the glasses now. So they're not too thick. And the thickness does stay pretty consistent around. And then again, we want to go keeping that line pretty consistent as we're trying to kind of match these two sides up. And that leaves me with some more erasing. All those great eyebrows we drew, or I know how that goes, mostly covered up there by the glasses. So we've got Miss Tipton's glasses. We're not going to do the sides that go back because we can't see them. We can see a little bit of her ear sticking out. Just a little bit right there. That's all of her ear we can see. If you do have to draw more of the ears, there is kind of that ear guideline on that handout that I gave you. All right, now we are going to do the hair. So I am going to start with her part is right here. And it kind of comes down right there. Her hair is going to come up and meet with that part. I know When I set the camera this way, I know it makes it wiggle a little bit more, so I apologize for that. But I wanted you to have a better view. So the hair I'm going to make a little darker. It's going to come down. Like this. We have her neck is coming down. Although on one side, we're not really going to be able to see it due to the shadow, but we'll go ahead and sketch that in so we know where it is. And then that's going to leave her shirt. And then over here, we are going to be able to see just a little bit of her shoulders. And again, some of those will be covered up with her hair, but we'll go ahead and sketch those in. So we've got this hair coming down here. And it's actually going to follow the top of her head. And come down. So we can definitely get rid of some of these lines here. And I know you're tired of me saying it, but please don't draw your lines this dark so that they're easier to erase. All right, we're gonna do the other side of the hair. Kind of. And again, we want to follow that head down. Just like that. And you can see where it kind of cuts off right where her ear is there. All right. So now it's just erasing all these lines that we're not supposed to be able to see. So when I do that, I might need to go back over some of my lines I made, like here in the nose. There. Okay, we're going to have a little bit of a shadow on this side of the nose. So I'm just going to shade that in a little bit, because then when we color over it, that's going to darken it up just a little bit. All right, this is really starting to look good. All right, let's see this little bit of shoulder where the hair is. Very nice. All right, so the last step, of course, is going to be adding color. You know, if you're looking for a super realistic portrait, you're going to do a lot of shading. You know, we are just working on the skills of where to, you know, where we're placing facial features, things like that. So we're going to color it in using either crayons or colored pencils, which I thought I had handy. Ah, I do see them. Give me just one moment. I am so sorry. All right. So, I do not have a peach or a skin color that would match Miss Tipton's as far as colored pencils go. But I do know that I have a crayon one. Aha, and I have found it. So that's what I'm going to start with, is I'm going to start by kind of coloring in the face. So, and again, this is another problem with drawing, you know, our lines too dark. You're going to be able to see some of those lines once I color over them. So, again, please try to use lighter colored lines. So, like I said, that pencil shading is going to kind of mix with that crayon and make that nose part right there a little darker. Sorry about that. All right. Now up here, I want to remember I do have just a little bit of eyebrow that I want to still color in with a brown color. And of course, I'm doing my best work while I'm coloring. All right, the neck is also going to get that skin tone color. We're going to add some brown in there and a little bit later too. Oh, somehow I picked up a little bit of purple there, so Tipton's gonna have just a little bit of purple on her neck, I guess. That happens. All right. I am gonna go in with my brown colored pencil. And where these eyebrows are, I'm going to color it in. But I'm coloring like I'm doing, you know, these little hairs that are going to go just right outside the edge of the eyebrow. Okay. Now, her glasses are more of a dark brownish, kind of black. And I don't want them to get mixed in with the eyebrows. Oh, I just realized I did not color in inside of the glasses, so that's still going to be that skin color. So I am so much happier with this one than I was with my first one. So again, please remember as you're doing this that drawing portraits is something that if you want to really be good at it, you really have to practice a lot. This one definitely turned out so much better than my first one. I'll show you the two in comparison in a minute. So I'm going to use some of this pink colored pencil here to color in the lips. So we all want to see, we know Miss Tipton has a great, pretty big smile, so we all want to see that. Okay, and then I'm also going to use a little bit of that pink to just kind of color in the corners of those eyes there. Okay. Now, oh no, in Miss Tipton's picture, I can't quite make out what color her eyes are. I think that they're brown. I'm going to go with brown. I'm sorry, Miss Tipton, if they're blue. It is so hard to tell in this picture. So I'm going to kind of, I believe that they are brown. So I'm going to use that brown colored pencil. And if I find out they're a different color, I'm going to do it light enough to where if they are a blue or a green, I can always kind of color over it too and add some more color. So got those eyes colored in. Nice light brown. Now for the pupils, I'm going to use black colored pencil, and I am going to leave just a little dot of white right there. Little circle of white to show kind of where the light is hitting her eyes. I'm going to do that same thing on the other side too. All right, so this is really coming along. I'm going to use the black to lightly color in the glasses. Sorry, I'm trying to think of things I can say while I'm doing this, but I hope that you guys are all doing well, that you're excited that even though you've been out of school, kind of, that schoolwork is getting ready to come to an end. Maybe summer will bring a little bit of normalcy back for us. All right, I think that is looking really nice so far. So the last thing I have to do, excuse me, is the hair and the shirt. So like I said, when I look at her picture, you know, it's just kind of dark in here. So I'm just going to kind of, I think it's kind of her hair. It's kind of a shadow. So I'm going to color that in with the brown. But because it's more of a shadow also, I'm going to go over that just a little bit with the black, so that you can see that it's kind of more of a shadow than it is, you know, her hair. Same thing on the other side. Go in here with this brown on the inside. And then I'm going to go back over that with a little bit of the black to show that that is really shadowy back there. And we did forget to color the end of poor Miss Tipton's ear. So let's get that colored. All right, for the hair, I've already got the outline drawn. When I do my hair strokes, I am going to try to, she has nice, you know, straight hair, so I'm trying to kind of simulate that, how it goes over from that part. And once I get kind of a base, then I can do some more kind of strands that you can see. So getting that base color in there. And then once I get that nice base, then I want to do some strands of hair too, especially in the areas where you can see where it kind of lays on each other or splits. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I want to be able to see that part there. Hold on 1 second. So again, I'm getting that nice base of my color. I'm going to add those kind of strands that give us that, you know, more kind of a hair texture look. All right, guys, the last thing we have to do is her shirt. She was wearing kind of a blue shirt, so I'm just gonna do a nice blue color to fill that in. I know you can hear my pencil hitting the table. You might always want to consider having another piece of paper underneath if you're coloring on your kitchen table or something. This is my art table, so it is used to colored pencils and paints and what have you. Oh, and I didn't even notice, but this part of her shirt also does show just a tiny bit of her arm, so we'll add a little skin tone to that. There we go. All right, so this is our finished portrait. Let me get some paper behind it. And I think it turned out pretty well. This was the original one, so I think you can see that I was able to get the proportions down much better in this second one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project. I miss you all so much. This was the only piece of artwork that we will be keeping until next year. Anything else, you can just turn in a note from your parents that you did complete it. That's fine with me. And I hope you guys have a great summer. This is Mrs. Willoughby signing off.